Sean Cruz of TD Ameritrade here with our final trades of the day. You always bring so much to the table, so thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm going to start with Boeing. Boeing has been one of those stocks that has had an unreal run. What do you see happening now in the options? What is the options market predicting about Boeing?
So in the options market, we've seen an interesting trade. So the initial trade was open in February, and what that trader did was went out and sold the 340 calls and the 340 puts into March. Earlier this week, we actually saw that trader close out those options and then go ahead and sell the May options at the same strike, so extended this trade. What's interesting about this trade is you see elevated volatility in Boeing with a lot of the trade talks that's going on right now. And what this trader is saying is he's taking advantage of elevated volatility, increasing those premiums, but what he's really expecting for price is that Boeing stays range bound and just kind of trickles sideways moving forward, and that's going to bring in the premium of those options. Worked out with him from his trade in February. It looks like this trader expects that to continue moving forward.
Moving on to Ford, a stock we talked about earlier in this show. There's a recall going on, but yet the options market completely just bypassing that. The options market is bullish on this stock.
We're seeing a lot of activity in the calls in this stock. We've got some analyst upgrades where analysts that were initially bearish actually came out and changed it to bullish. So they didn't even go into neutral, went right to bullish, spoke very highly about the Ford F-150 line, which is very popular. And so now we're seeing a lot of activity at the 1087, which is an unusual strike for the calls, but we're also seeing that at the 11 call strike as well. And it looks like it's a lot of back and forth trade there, but a little bit leaning more towards buyers of those calls.
So these traders want Ford to trade above $11.
That is what they're saying.
And then last on the list is EWZ. Now this is an ETF that is related to Brazil. So we know that a lot of money managers out there are not just looking at what's going on in the US stock market, they're looking overseas. What do you see here for EWZ?
So in EWZ, we're seeing a lot of activity both on the put and call side at the 46 level. And it looks like there's a lot going on with one, there's some talks about NAFTA, and they're expecting maybe Brazil can benefit from this if countries start going ahead and buying a lot of their exports. But then Fitch also came out and put a little bit of a warning on the country's credit recently, which could give it a little bit more downside. But we're seeing those puts and calls very active. Traders who think that it might move lower could be sellers of those calls or buyers of those puts. Traders who think it might move higher are going to be buyers of those calls or sellers of those puts.
Either way, they want to move.
They want that movement, that's for sure.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Sean.
Thank you.
Check out businessfirstam.com to find out where to see our entire show. And don't forget to like, follow, and share Business First AM.